Hey everyone, and welcome to Book Lovers Unite. Today, we are getting real about something I think a lot of us dream about, quitting our job to finally start our own thing. But before you do that, there's a serious reality check we need to have.
Oh, you know that feeling, right? You're stuck in another meeting that could have been an email, your boss is driving you crazy, and you just start mentally typing out that glorious resignation letter. It's such a powerful fantasy, isn't it? Just walking away to build something that's truly yours. But here comes the cold, hard truth. That amazing daydream? For most people, it crashes and burns. The stats are brutal. Most new businesses fail, and they fail fast. So the big question is, how do you make sure you're not one of them? Well, it all starts with changing the way you think. And our guide for this journey is Robert Kiyosaki's fantastic book, Before You Quit Your Job. Now, this isn't some dry manual on how to write a business plan. No, this book is all about rewiring your brain for the crazy, intense, and often brutal world of entrepreneurship. Think of it as the tough love conversation you absolutely need to have with yourself first.
Okay, the very first lesson is a huge one, and it kind of flips the whole idea of failure on its head. Kiyosaki says that when you're an entrepreneur, your mistakes aren't just failures, they're your education. And just like any education, you've got to pay tuition.
And trust me, he learned this the hard way with what he calls his Nylon Wallet Disaster. Back in the day, he launched a company making those Velcro wallets for surfers, and it was a massive hit. But then he got lazy. He got complacent. He stopped paying attention to the quality, ignored the finances, and the whole thing just imploded. He lost everything and ended up deep in debt.
That spectacular crash, that was his tuition. And this idea is so powerful. See, a regular job pays you to not make mistakes, right? But as an entrepreneur, you often only get paid after you've made the mistakes and, crucially, learn from them. You have to be willing to pay that price. Failure is literally the cost of admission to the game.
This leads right into the biggest mental hurdle you have to clear. You have to stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like a business owner. And the biggest difference? It all comes down to being a specialist versus a generalist.
Think about it. As an employee, you get paid to be a specialist. If you're a great graphic designer, you get paid to be amazing at design. You don't need to know about tax law or marketing funnels. But the second you decide to start your own design business, well, you're not just a designer anymore. You are now the CEO. You have to be a generalist who can handle sales, HR, legal stuff, everything. Just being great at your craft is not enough to run a business based on it. That's a huge trap.
So if just having a great product or service isn't the whole story, then what is? Well, this is where Kiyosaki gives us a literal blueprint for building a business that can actually last. He calls it the BI triangle. Now look closely at this. The product? It's just one small piece on the inside. What really holds the entire business together are the three sides on the outside. Your mission, that's your why. Your team, that's your who. And your leadership, that's your how. Most businesses don't fail because the product was bad. They fail because the mission was weak, the team fell apart, or the leadership just wasn't there.
And let's get real about that mission for a second. If your big why is just I want to be rich, Kiyosaki is super clear. You are going to quit. The first time things get really, truly hard, you'll bail. Your mission has to be bigger than money. It has to be about serving a customer, solving a real problem. That is the only fuel that will get you through the tough times. And believe me, there will be tough times. Okay, so we've covered the mindset and the structure. Now let's talk about the one skill, the one practical thing that Kiyosaki says is absolutely non-negotiable. And it's usually the one that people are most afraid of. This quote from Rich Dad says it all. You have got to learn how to sell. And listen, this isn't just about selling your product to a customer. You have to sell your vision to convince talented people to join your team. You have to sell your business plan to get investors to write you a check. Heck, you have to sell yourself to get a loan from the bank. If the thought of selling and facing rejection terrifies you, you're probably not ready yet. So, after all this tough talk about failure and difficult skills, you'd think the advice would be to just brace yourself and jump, right? Nope. And this is maybe the most valuable practical advice in the whole book. The title says it all. Don't quit your job, at least not yet. Here's this smart strategy. Keep that steady paycheck for as long as you can. Think of it as your first investor, your seed capital. Then use your nights and your weekends to build your new business on the side. This lets you learn, it lets you make those inevitable mistakes, and it lets you pay that entrepreneurial tuition while you still have a financial safety net underneath you. You get to fail small before you risk it all.
So how do you know when you've really done it? When have you built a true business, and not just, well, a new, more stressful job for yourself?
Kiyosaki gives us the ultimate test. Ask yourself this question. If the answer is no, then you're basically self-employed. But if the answer is yes, you've built a business, a system, a real asset that works without you. That's the real goal.
You know, when you boil it all down, this book just rips away all the social media glamour around being an entrepreneur. It tells you the truth. This path will test you in ways you can't even imagine. It will probably be the hardest thing you ever do. But it will also be the most rewarding, not just financially, but because of the person you have to become to pull it off.
And that brings us back to you. I want you to really think about this for a second. For all of you watching who have that dream, what is the one thing that's really holding you back? Is it money? Is it that deep down fear of what happens if you fail? Or maybe you just haven't found that powerful mission yet.
Let us know your answer in the comments below. Let's start a real conversation about this. And hey, if this deep dive gave you some food for thought, do us a huge favor. Hit that like button, share this with another dreamer you know, and of course, subscribe to Book Lovers Unite for more. Thanks so much for watching.